Hey again everyone, welcome back to the stage. We've got more great videos coming your way this week. If you've been following the trend on my channel here, you know what raid is next. That's right, today we're covering the Abyss. This dungeon is split up into 4 separate dungeons, so let's jump right in and cover all of them. Starting out with Phase 1, this dungeon is going to be a little different from the other dungeons we've covered up to now. Immediately upon the start of this phase, you'll notice the boss is in the center of the map with a shield around it. Ever done Denif's Master Road dungeon where you had to destroy his shield to actually deal damage to him? It's the same thing here. Let's dive in on how to deal with the shield. For the crystals mechanic, over time crystals will spawn around the map. These crystals can be broken by commands and skills, and upon destruction, reduce the boss's shield HP bar by a set amount. Destroy multiple crystals and the shield will be destroyed, allowing you to DPS the boss. Keep in mind, the boss can still attack even while being invulnerable. Make sure to pay attention and dodge attacks while attacking the crystals. For the 180-degree laser attack, the boss will charge a laser on either the left or right side, whichever side you are on. If you see this, you have 2 options. Hug the boss to avoid most, if not all of the laser, or simply swap sides if you want to avoid it entirely. This laser can do damage if you get hit multiple times and don't have defense, so if this applies to you, going to the other side of the boss is recommended. For the boss's fog explosion attack, the boss will summon fogs around the map. Initially, they won't hurt you at all. However, if you are inside the fog when it explodes, it can deal massive damage to you. To avoid this, simply stand where the fog isn't covering. For the aura explosion attack, an aura will explode out from the boss. If you get hit multiple times, you'll find your HP getting low real fast. Get away from the boss to avoid taking a lot of damage from this attack. For the designated spot mechanic, one spot on the map will be marked with an aura. In this phase specifically, if you aren't near the spot, you could die, and if not, take a lot of damage. Simply stand near or in the spot to mitigate the damage received and use an HP potion afterwards if necessary. For the shield reactivation mechanic, over time during the DPS phase, the boss's shield will be recharging. Once the gauge is full, the boss will regain its shield and lasers will cover the entirety of the map with 2 spots that are not covered. To avoid damage, simply move to the spots that are out of harm's way and repeat the crystal mechanic. Moving on to Phase 2, if you got here without dying, congrats! Because now you have to do it again. Except the attacks hurt more. Way more. They even hurt me. The first thing you'll notice, especially if you instantly start attacking the boss, is that your damage is next to none. The reason for this is because you need a specific buff to actually deal damage to the boss. This buff can be acquired by this next mechanic. As a general tip, always make sure you position yourself behind the boss. This will enable you to auto-dodge some of these attacks. For the plants mechanic, over time, plants will spawn around the map and bubbles will bloom from them. Touch the bubbles to pop them and gain the needed buff to actually deal damage to the boss. The buff stacks 5 times, auto starts with 5 stacks once you collect the buff, and lasts for 15 seconds per stack. As the stacks decrease, so does the amount of damage you deal. Keep this in mind to not waste any damage and keep your buff up at all times. For the shotgun blast attack, I call this attack the shotgun blast for a couple of reasons. The first reason is because it looks like an actual blast from a shotgun. The second reason is, it hurts. A lot. Don't get hit by this if you value your life. To avoid this, simply be behind the boss. For the fog explosion attack, the same attack as Phase 1, except it hurts a lot more. This is one attack you may not be able to dodge simply by going behind the boss, so make sure you keep an eye out. For the directional lasers attack, the boss will summon auras that have 2 arrows pointing in 2 different directions. These lasers can either be pointing to the left and up, to the right and up, to the left and down, or to the right and down. These lasers can do some damage if you don't have much defense, so heal up if you do get hit and keep an eye out for a spot where the lasers will not cover to avoid them. This is another attack you may not be able to dodge easily by staying behind the boss. For the enhanced designated spot mechanic, the designated spot mechanic shows up again in this phase with a slight difference. Now the aura that the boss spawns is colored, and the color does matter. If the aura the boss summons is red, you must be near the aura to not receive damage. If it's blue, you must stay away from it to avoid taking damage. This is again an attack you may not be able to dodge by staying behind the boss. For the boss's teleport mechanic, the boss may teleport around the map to random points. Make sure to not lose sight of the boss to avoid any DPS loss. For the gravity change mechanic, the boss will teleport to either the bottom left or bottom right sides and begin charging. Once the boss is fully charged, if you fail to interrupt the boss, it will fly up, changing the flow of gravity around the left and right sides of the entire map. Whatever side the boss flies up from will have less gravity, and the side the boss falls down from will have more gravity. Some people actually prefer to let the boss do this, as doing so actually makes the boss not teleport until after the effects end. To interrupt this, simply attack the boss with commands. You should always break the boss out of this charging state after the second charge for this next attack. For the Starlight Outburst, this is the boss's ultimate attack. The boss will teleport to the background and the screen will zoom out. You will see an eye appear on your character as the boss spreads out crosses all over the map. At one random spot on the map, there will be a golden dome. To avoid this attack, simply go into the dome and stay there. Failure to do this will result in your death, so be fast and use hyper acceleration if needed to quickly get to the safe spot. Some tips for newer players. Again, as stated in my previous video, I am always going to recommend doing this raid in a party. However, if you find yourself struggling to form or just want to practice mechanics on your own, solo mode is a good way to do that. For phase 1, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. This boss does a lot of damage. Even with my adaptation and boss damage reduction, it still hurts even me. If you're going to clear this dungeon, focus on dodging the boss's attacks and your own survival. Take things slow. There is no need to rush. Every attack is really easy to avoid, either by taking no damage or minimal damage if you just pay attention. For phase 2, it's pretty much the same advice as phase 1. Keep your eyes open and don't let a surprise laser destroy your health bar. Well then, we're getting into some much more challenging content here, but make sure you follow along and you'll do just fine. As I've stated before, the goal is the same as Varnamir and Birth Raids, getting that sweet weapon and those awesome rewards for weekly clears. The curtains are closing for now, but be sure to come on back when we open them again. And don't forget to break some legs and do the whoosh.